Oh, I should mute the podcast.
Yeah, watch him just mute his mic all of a sudden out of nowhere. Says we're live. Shall be believed? It shall. Wow, we are.
Wow. It works.
And for the first time, almost the first time in 2018, I'm here doing 4GwQPodcast. I know these guys held it together for a couple weeks, couple of the other weeks. They backed out and kind of did their own thing, which is cool. They still stream. They kept the streak rolling, kind of. So this episode number is actually 161 for February 8th, 2018. And luckily, I am back for a very long stretch, hopefully. So we shouldn't have any problems getting the stream going, getting the podcast going, because work has calmed down a bit, thankfully. So glad to be here, glad to be back doing the podcast, and we have some great topics tonight. But before I get into those, let's introduce the rest of the 4GwQPodcast panel. We've got making his 161st straight appearance. It's ZBCI Assassin. What's going on, bud?
Hi.
You know, so emphatic. You know, before the show, I was like, you know, you ready, Assassin? You ready to go? You pumped up, bro? Like, trying to pump him up. And then he's like, no. And then I started the show and, hi. So, glad
he kept the same monotoneness.
There we go. That is true. And that voice is the one and only Taylor, a.k.a. Zebra Fries. What's going on?
Hello.
Last but not least, we have the man himself, Italian Clowns, hopefully not bugging out on us tonight.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, like the Fonz. What's up, people?
Just like the Fonz. Kind of like our own Four Guys Fonz, if you will. But, yeah, so this week we've got, we're going to revisit at least one topic that I kind of missed because I was gone for a month and change. And then we're going to get into some of the stuff that's been happening this week. You know, of course, the Twin Galaxy scandal, which if you haven't heard about that, we'll get into that in a little bit. That's actually pretty ridiculous. And if you follow that kind of thing, it's really it's really sketchy and really like challenges your beliefs in record holders and record holding in general, not only in video games, but in other things as well. But anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into some big CEOs resigning in the industry. I don't know what's going on, but a bunch of CEOs are resigning at big positions, and it kind of makes me question what's going on with the industry that people are backing out like this. But I digress. We'll get into Fortnite versus PUBG now 2 months later on console. I know Assassin's dying to give his opinion on that since he's kind of swayed to the other side recently. If you've been watching the podcast, you know what side he was on. And now he's kind of swinging to the middle, it sounds like. So we'll get to that in a bit. A couple other things, you know, Monster Hunter and Shadow of the Colossus came out, primarily single player games, and they're doing pretty well. So, you know, that whole single player is dead thing can probably be laid to rest at this point. Yeah, and some other stuff, some other ancillary, you know, topics, but yeah, let's just get right into it, because I didn't talk about this. I know you guys kind of talked about it. I know you guys have opinions. It's been like a month or so in the making, this topic, that Games Pass is now going to add first party, you know, Microsoft Studios stuff to Xbox Games Pass on day one. You know, prior to this, it's just been like older games. You know, people say, oh, the games are too old. Like Games Pass, it's a cool idea. It's a cool deal. You get to actually download the games. You don't stream it. You don't lose quality from streaming like PS Now. But now they've kind of sweetened that $9.99, you know, subscription fee. And they're adding, you know, as soon as Crackdown 3 comes out, you're getting that. As soon as Sea of Thieves comes out next month, you're getting that. As soon as State of Decay comes out, whenever that's coming, I don't even really know off the top of my head, but forgive me, I've been out of the game for a little bit.
It's like fall.
Fall, okay. I'll trust you on that. I don't really know the date. I know I know they were thinking like April, and then, you know, it's been really up in the air, but anyway, those games, you do get them on day one, which in my opinion is kind of crazy, and I want you guys kind of just like reiterate your thoughts that you've had on it if you want. Assassin, I know you don't subscribe to this, but You had like that trial that they gave the preview people, so you kind of checked it out, and now they're gonna sweeten the deal by adding brand new games for $9.99 a month. Are you interested?
I'm interested in trying out, like, games, like, especially for Microsoft, that maybe I wouldn't pay for, like Crackdown, that zombie game, I can't think of it all of a sudden.
State of Decay too.
Yeah, that, and then I'm usually broke, so I can try Sea of Thieves for $10. But so then once we pay for this, I mean, a bunch of other people hopefully will pay for this, and we'll have a bunch more people. But then that also brings to the thing where, you're not buying a copy. So this is also from a company where, what Sunset Overdrive didn't do so well. So we might never see a sequel because of that. Does that affect something like this? Because you're not technically buying a copy. So, there could be like 1 million people buy the game, and then how many people buy the pass? Like, would they put those numbers in consideration for sequels?
Yeah, that's an awesome point that I considered when thinking about this. I considered the fact that they're not going to sell as many copies. Obviously, they're not going to sell as many copies at $60, but trending gaming these days is that the $60 price point sticks for like 2 weeks and then drops to some other number that's usually either $48 or lower. But that's a point that I never even considered. Like, what is the impact this is going to have on studios producing sequels? Because you're right, Assassin, it seems like, especially this gen, people have based like the ability of sequels to be made on sales. And everyone's like, oh, Sunset Overdrive 2, that was a great example you made. Sunset Overdrive 2, when are we going to get that?
Look at Knack, though. I mean, they made a sequel to that.
Unbelievable. What were you going to say, Assassin?
I feel like Sony would rather take a risk than Microsoft. Like,
yeah. Yep.
I know they're both companies, but like Microsoft, if it doesn't do well, like, why spend millions more dollars on a project that might do the same or even worse?
Yeah. It's definitely true, and I don't know if they're rationalizing. Okay, am I going to get $60 for the game once, or am I going to get this person that subscribes for the year and pay $120? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of data do they have that shows that are people actually paying more per title than they would get in return if people just spent that $60 right from the get-go? Because you guys do it, I do it, everyone does it now. Everyone's a smart shopper. It's so easy to just go online, price stuff out, wait for deals, scour for deals, set alerts on your favorite sites to be notified as soon as something's gonna go on sale or something does go on sale. People don't buy stuff at $60.
There's even add-ons for Firefox that will refresh the page. You don't even see it, and then as soon as the sale hits, I'll buy something if you set a price point. But I blame cheap ass gamer and I blame slick deals and stuff for actually dropping in price within 2 months.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's true. I mean, all these deal websites make money on advertising the deals, so they're doing it super quickly and super easily, and people are just waiting out for those deals. Now, Games Pass, it makes it look like, okay, your subscription model, fine. You don't actually own anything. Okay, fine, whatever. But some people are going to say, like, I'm paying $9.99 for this subscription, and I'm not going to lose out on getting this thing day one, like minute one. You know what I mean? Like, midnight strikes, you got it.
And Xbox see the writing on the wall. I think they see, game sales increasing only when there's actually a sale on the $60 title. And they want to go towards games as a service so they can sell you the service that you're going to subscribe to. Then you have to buy Xbox Live. So it adds numbers for their investors as well. And then on top of that, they also know that if you spend $9.99, let's say, just to get launch, right? Chances are, since you didn't pay $60, you're not going to feel guilty about dropping $40 in DLC.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point too. That's an awesome point. That now people are gonna think they got something for free when they didn't get anything for free. You know what I mean? Like, they're still paying that subscription service, but they're going to say, oh, I've been paying that subscription service anyway, and now I'm just, like, getting this AAA title, you know, thrown in the mix. I'm getting these games added on, and, you know, they're selling, like, nothing, like, that you own, yet it's making you want more, even though you're getting something you don't actually own, which is crazy. To me, at least, I think it's a great idea for consumers. It's a terrible idea for devs, just because of what Assassin pretty much said. I mean, it's a great idea for Microsoft.
I think it'll crush some third-party devs and indie devs, you know, because it'll lessen their sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Same term for Microsoft. It's smart because, you know, I'm not going to buy Sea of Thieves on launch, right? But if I got Game Pass, let's say, I got Sea of Thieves and I started investing in some DLC because I like the cosmetic stuff. And then if I ever cancel Game Pass, chances are, because I bought so much in DLC, I'm going to buy that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Taylor, your thoughts on this? I know you're always infamous on the show for being the money pincher here. Is this catching your eye now that you're going to get AAA titles included?
Well, I mean, I was already looking at Game Pass as something I was going to do. Apparently, I didn't buy it. I didn't sign up for it. But, I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm going to get this if I can get AAA titles day one. And I don't have to spend $60. But I know in retrospect, I'm going to spend probably almost double worth the game because I'm going to buy so much DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Games nowadays come out with so much DLC, it's almost like 3 times worth the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I can see Assassin's point where it's not going to be great for devs, but at the same time, it will be good for devs because they're getting the main game for free, and they're going to go through and buy all of that DLC because they think, in their mind, they're thinking, okay, I got this game for free, I can afford to buy this, this, and this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the game has DLC.
Well, yeah. Now that's the thing. Like, a lot of games have been moving to like the free DLC model, and then they'll add like this cosmetic shit, and people will be tempted to buy it. So like now, I think we're gonna see, like what Taylor's saying. I think we're gonna see kind of like a push to like every game having some sort of cosmetic, like microtransaction purchasable, even though like it's completely optional. Yeah, but I mean, if it's completely optional and you paid nothing for nothing, quote unquote, for the game, you're more likely to be, you know, swayed. Of course. I mean, I think Taylor and Clons are right about that. That, I mean, you're gonna be more likely to buy that stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if every Microsoft AAA title, every Microsoft Studio AAA title had microtransactions that are cosmetic in nature. Like every single game had it. No matter if it's Crackdown, State of Decay, Sea of Thieves, whatever it may be, it's having it.
Or even missions that are just DLC related. Because people are going to spend a lot of money to get those DLC missions.
Like single player.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I could see it. I think we've moved to the point where people, Assassin tweeted earlier today, I was able to catch that, where Assassin, you were like, oh, why don't we, Activision, how about you go ahead and move to the free multiplayer DLC model like pretty much everyone else, right? But like, yeah. I feel like if people started making single player expansions again and charging for them, people would almost praise that, because people have been saying, even for like games like GTA, I'm sure Red Dead will come out and people will be clamoring for single player DLC, and people are happy to pay for that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe they'll you know, add on some more single player DLC that people will more likely buy. I mean, I think the reason they moved away from it in the first place is because people stopped buying it, and now, you know, if they feel like they're getting the game for free by having this program, they're more likely to toss in some moolah to get those extra missions. So good points. Yeah, I mean, that was a nice quick discussion about it. Like, I didn't want to dive too much into it again, because, you know, it was like a month ago, but I wasn't here, so I figured we get the round robin going. And I mean, it's true. I mean, I want to hear what people that are watching, you know, if you're watching live, definitely post in the chat, and if you're not watching live, definitely hit us up in the comments or on Twitter or something and let us know what you think of Games Pass. I know J Street says Games Pass is going to sell like crazy when Crackdown State of Decay comes out and Sea of Thieves. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely going to see a nice uptick in subscriptions for sure. And hopefully
Well, they
those...
need to advertise it more.
Yeah, you know, like...
Advertisement.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen advertisements like on the net because I'm looking at game sites, but if I'm walking into a Microsoft store, I don't see a thing being like, Games Pass now includes AAA titles that aren't even out yet, you know? So yeah, good point. I mean, obviously obviously GameStop's not gonna throw that in the front window because they don't want you to do that, or Best Buy. They're not gonna, those places aren't gonna be, you know, throwing that up for the feature of the month club, but in Microsoft Store, I could see them doing, and you know, throwing ads on TV or whatnot. But anyway, all right. Next kind of big topic that kind of happened within the past week or so is that if you're familiar with Twin Galaxies, you know exactly what that is. It's basically the governing body, if you will, of retro game. I think they do some modern games too, like speed running records. World records in fastest times on like racing games or highest scores like on Donkey Kong and stuff like that. And Twin Galaxies has been bringing down the hammer on some big names. So Billy Mitchell most recently had his Donkey Kong record, which is no longer a record, by the way. It has been beaten, but it stood for quite a long time, and his record has been recently called into question and may be removed, and he may be actually banned from Twin Galaxies, and that's a huge, huge name. I mean, he's at any retro gaming convention. People recognize that face. People know who that is if you're in the scene. And Todd Rogers, the guy on the right, if you're watching the video version, he had his record for Dragster, which he had the Guinness World Record. I mean, Guinness actually recognized that as the world record, and somebody proved that it was fake using computer analytics to find out that the fastest achievable time in the game was slower than the time that he said he got. So obviously he didn't get that time, and you know, they proved that it was a big farce, and that, you know, Twin Galaxies, somebody like on the inside like faked his score and you know, put it in the record books and all this. So huge stuff going on. So I know, Clowns, you're kind of big into this scene, so definitely want to hear what you have to say about these record holders. I know you guys, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that you looked up to these guys, but you definitely knew who they were and you admire them for what they were. And so what did you think of the news?
Kind of disappointed. I'm very disappointed too, because I actually had the honor of meeting Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell, both of them. Mm-hmm. And in person, they're both really nice guys, down to earth. You know, they love talking about video games and just everything in general. Just really cool people. And to think that they or flat out lie about something, it's just, I mean, it really bothers me. Because I kind of looked up to Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers. Mm-hmm. A lot of connections with Nintendo and Activision. Mm-hmm. It's just insane how they could get away with it. I guess in the 80s, man, you could just exaggerate about any score on an arcade machine or Atari. Improved back then. Mm-hmm. You could just exaggerate, and people would be like, "Oh man, that's cool." You know, get 3 people talking about it, then 10 people talk about it, and then you got somebody on the inside, and just
yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, obviously Twin Galaxies at one point, or I mean, they still do, but at one point they had, like for the time, pretty strict requirements, but kind of like anything, like if you know someone, you can get something done, and then, you know, word of mouth travels, like Clowns was just saying, and you know, like for Todd Rogers specifically, like his record was completely faked. They proved it was completely fake with computer analytics. He tried to prove it again, and then they with a picture of him getting it again, and then they proved that picture was photoshopped. So he lied multiple times. With Billy Mitchell, I mean, at this point, you know, you can believe it or not, because it hasn't been like quote unquote proven like Todd Rogers has, but the writing is on the wall that it probably is faked. And like Clown said, like there are a lot of people, you know, granted probably not Assassin and Taylor's age, but closer to like me and Clown's age, that looked up to these guys as like the legends. I mean, like there was a movie called The King of Kong. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Documentary, and a lot of it was about Billy Mitchell. And now that movie is like completely fake, essentially, because his score was faked. And now a lot of people who, you know, these guys were like the guys that pioneered, you know, record holding for games. So like speedrunning isn't exactly the same thing, but it's like related because it's like score. It's like battling for the best score of something, battling for the fastest time. You know, these guys kind of pioneered that. And now it's like, who can you believe? You know what I mean?
Gate in Rhode Island on the map. I forget the name of it. The one that you've been to, Inferno.
The what? Which one?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
I think it's in Rhode Island.
Oh, no. New Hampshire fun spot.
I mean, they put that on the map, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, they hold championships at that place, and that place is like, people from all over the country fly to that place because of these guys. And now it's like, okay, great, fakes, you know? Incredible. Just incredible. So, yeah, I wanted to get, you know, Assassin and Taylor's thoughts on this because I know you guys, like, grew up in a different era where this thing wasn't, like, too impressive. But, I mean, surely you guys have some thoughts about this in some way.
How do you live with yourself knowing that your, like, whole, like, life, let's just put that in quotes, is a lie? Like, I'm just curious how you, like, sleep at night, besides on a bed with some pillows and blankets.
Wow. Wow, that got pretty deep at the end.
That was pretty blunt, Assassin, straight to the point.
Well, because you know how someone's like, "How do you sleep at night?" They're like, "Usually with a pillow and a bed." So you know, I had to put that out.
So you were covering the sassy answer already.
Yep, I was.
It's true though. It's like, especially like Billy Mitchell. Yeah. Like I feel like Billy Mitchell, like, I mean, he was cocky, but he wasn't like, you know, he didn't like take pictures with Donkey Kong and shit like that, like all over the place. He didn't like sign his name and then like put Donkey Kong next to it or like anything like that. Whereas Todd Rogers like literally like walked around with a box for Dragster and like took his picture with it and shit like that. So that guy was definitely like living a life of lie. You know what I mean? Like how with that guy, like how do you sleep at night? You know, you became famous because of that. That guy, Todd Rogers, eventually. And Clowns, you probably know this, but he eventually like became one of the people in Twin Galaxies through his connections that actually like governed the scores and stuff. So who knows like how many scores are tainted because of that guy? You know what I mean? Whose scores he faked for other people, you know?
Yeah, it's just disgusting. And before I forget, I just want to throw this in there because I know we want to get Taylor's input too. But if you guys ever seen the movie Pixels, that dude from Game of Thrones, Assassin, what's his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Presented Billy Mitchell in Pixels like it was a character of him. And Billy Mitchell actually tried to sue them for him being so arrogant in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Billy Mitchell is more arrogant like about him, like his persona, not necessarily his record, whereas Todd Rogers, I feel, is more arrogant about like his record. But either way, I mean, these guys are like kind of full of themselves, and now to get like, you know, to get called out, it's kind of like, wow, you just got called out and you've been so arrogant like your entire career. Is like, how does that feel? How's that feel, bro? Like you're a fake.
We actually got an interview with Todd Rogers up on YouTube, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's crazy. Like so many people looked up to him to like interview him, you know, and some of the answers he would give are just like complete fakes. Like how it's pathetic. Taylor, what do you think about this? Last word on this.
I mean, how pathetic do you have to be to fake getting the highest score in a video game? For that to be your claim to fame, you have to fake a high score in a video game.
Man, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it would be cool to me to have the highest score. And we grew up in a different era, me and Clown, so you got to bear with us. But it would be cool for me to have, like, the highest score on, like, Tapper or something, or, like, Pac-Man, or one of those things. Like, it would be...
I mean, I'm not denying that, like, you want to have the high score because that's awesome. but how pathetic do you have to be to actually fake it?
Yeah.
Well, people do anything for fame. I mean, look at that idiot on YouTube that filmed some dead dude in the forest.
Logan, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Logan Paul.
Like, you wanted more fame. Like, let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, not to get off topic, but Assassin, while you're on that, KSI to box against Logan Paul or whatever his name is, and he accepted it. So there's gonna be a boxing match. But go on, guys.
Wow, crazy. I didn't know that. Where'd you see that?
I thought it was against the other Paul. Which one? Is it Logan?
News account.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. They better be doing that for like charity or some shit, because if they're making money off that, they're despicable. Supersonic Station says, I love Tapper. Yeah, dude. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like it would be the coolest thing to have that record. Now, unless I knew it was like, you know, that's the thing. Like, you fake these things, you know, you would have to live with that. Like Assassin said, and like Taylor said, you'd have to live with that your entire lives. You know, you'd go to these events, you'd know you're a fake. So like, if I would have to live with that, I would have to know that. Now, I wouldn't do it, but just hypothetically, I would have to know that it would be locked down, rock solid. No one can prove that I was wrong. And these guys probably thought that, and then the computer programs came out. Like, these guys never thought computers would get to this point, probably, by the time it got here. And now, like, you could easily, like, go in these old games and figure out what the fastest time is just based on the code. And if you say you're faster than that, you're a sham. You're a fucking sham. And that's how Todd Rogers got found out.
I think what bothers them most probably at this point is that it's people, Assassin and Taylor's age, that debunked their scores, you know?
Yeah.
It's not even like guys our age, Inferno.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, the old guys were totally content with being like, oh, Todd Rogers forever, for life, man. Billy Mitchell, come sign my ass. Like, they were totally content with that, but then you get these young people who are like, wait a second, like, we're using these emulators and we can't even come close to that. And like, I'm this brainiac that just built a robot that does it at perfect timing, and I can't get that time. Whereas the old guys are still like, you know, going to the local coin operated arcade, like, you know, buying some like pure French fries and trying to beat their records and shit like that. Whereas, you know, it definitely is a thing that if it weren't for, you know, young people, smart young people with computers, they probably would have never been found out. But it's sad. It's a sad thing.
Well, here's the thing. We've been lied to about a lot of stuff, so we're tired of it. So we're disproving everything.
Touche. Very good. Very good. Very good. Did you see that tweet? This is totally off topic. Did you see that tweet by the Flat Earth Society where they were like, we have believers around the globe or some shit? And somebody was just like, you just said globe, so you obviously don't think the Earth is flat. I'll try to find it and send it to you. I can find it, but I saw that.
I saw that the other day. That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
So yes, we've been lied to a lot. I mean, the Earth is not flat, but we've been lied to a lot. Anyway, let's move off that. We got a couple more things we definitely want to get to before the end of the show. So let's move on into something Assassin is definitely like raging about. And this was like one of the first things Assassin posted to me in Twitter about what to talk about in this show. Not specifically about Kaz Hirai, but about Eric Hirschberg. Two CEOs, two pretty big companies, Sony for Kaz Hirai, who you probably know, from his E3 performances where he's like, Ridge Racer, and silly shit like that. That was a very good Kaz Hirai impression, by the way, if I do say so myself. And then Eric Hirschberg, who Assassin already thought was a dickhead, so is loving seeing this happen anyway. That, you know, CEO of publishing at Activision. I believe he had another title too. I don't know if he was just the CEO of publishing. Didn't he have a specific like Call of Duty title? I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, big names resigning. Huge names. This is like, you know, Kaz Hirai retiring is like a bigger deal than Phil Spencer retiring, in my opinion. Even though Kaz Hirai isn't like as interactive, nobody at Sony really is as interactive with the community, if you will. Kaz Hirai is extremely well known, and a huge name, and has always presented PlayStation stuff through the highs and lows, and has always been very proud of his product. And now he's resigning for some reason. Who the hell knows? Really gets me wondering, like, what the hell's going on in the gaming industry, to be honest. Because, you got big names resigning left and right. I mean, why would Eric Hirschberg, the CEO of publishing for Activision, who's recently gotten deals with such games as like Destiny, who, given Destiny sucks right now, but, that was a huge publishing deal for them. Call of Duty, of course. Why would these guys resign? So, Assassin, you wanted to bring this up. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, how old was the Sony guy? I'm just curious. Because he might have just wanted to retire at that point. Like, he seems old to me, but I didn't look how old he actually was.
Right.
I am looking stuff up right now, so I will tell you.
He's only 57. He's only 57 years old, dude. He's only 57 years old. He had a solid like 10 more years in his life, or not in his life. Wow, that's brutal.
In his life,
in his career.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow, that was brutal. That was brutal. Whoopsie. Yeah, in his career, I should say. What were you gonna say, Assassin? Sorry, bud. Sorry.
Oh, I was just thinking maybe he just wanted to retire. I mean, PlayStation's doing pretty well, and I can't say for their other things, but why not end on a high note? You got,
I guess.
bunch of money coming in, and then you can find your successor or whatever, new person to step up, and maybe have brand new ideas. Maybe he didn't have anything left to bring to the company.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I mean, the Kaz Hirai one, he as long as I remember, he's been like the big name at Sony. I think before him was Kutaragi or whatever his name is. Let me look that up. What's it? Anyway, while I'm looking that up, yeah, Ken Kutaragi. He's the former chairman and group CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment. So, those two guys have been like the big names that you recognize, with Sony at the top of Sony, and now, like, just to see him resign, like, this news just came out and it's going to be effective like in a couple months. April
1st.
The strange thing about this, though, is that he's stepping down as CEO of Sony, but he's going to take up position as chairman of the company, and he's also still a board member and co-CEO of Sony Entertainment. See,
so what's up with that? You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna step out, like, step out. You know what I mean? You want to retire, like, get out of the whole thing. Why are you stepping down from such a big position and remaining in other, like, similarly big but not quite as big positions? Like, what unless you see something bad happening, like, why would you do that? At least that's my thought.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, because I was looking at Sony's revenue, trying to figure out maybe why. Sony's revenue hit a low point in 2012 when he took over.
Mm-hmm.
And then it steadily went back up, and it went back down a couple $2 billion last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he got, from what I understand, his goal was to make the company profitable again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's profitable, and what I'm thinking is he's trying to slowly step down and move out of the company, and he's trying to also train the new CEO to keep doing what he's doing, because to make a multi-billion-dollar company profitable again takes a lot of work. He's probably stressed out, and he just needs a break from being the head CEO, and he just wants to train his new person and have anything that goes wrong blamed on his new person.
Yeah, he's definitely aged. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, like, I hate to say, and I'm not being racist at all. It's actually a very positive quality of Asian people, but Asian people, like, do not age. Like, I once hit on an 80-year-old Asian woman in Hawaii. Like, all right, and this is a 100% true story, because I had no idea how old she was. Like, she looked young, man, and she was a grandmother. She was like 80 years old, or almost 80, like, dead serious. So, like, Asian people, like, naturally just look really young, and he has aged significantly. So there may be truth to what you're saying, Taylor. They may be true to that. But I don't know. It's like, to me, if you retire, right, you move from such a big position. I feel like, other than it potentially like really damaging your stock, I feel like you'd announce that like 6 months, like between 6 months and a year before, be like, hey, I'm getting old. Like, I want to spend time with my family. I want to phase this out, and I'm phasing in this new person. And like, it's just a smooth, like long, ascending and descending, like exchange of command, if you will. But this guy, like, literally, the news just comes out and he's out in 2 months. Like, that's kind of a really weird thing. I love gilfs. Yes, I do love gilfs.
He could also be on a contract where he has to stay with the company for so many years.
Yeah. So
he doesn't want to be CEO anymore. He's stepping down. I mean, there's a lot of legal stuff behind the scenes that we don't know.
Right.
I mean, no matter what, at the end of the day, this guy's still collecting a check. So he's just like,
exactly.
Hey guys, I don't feel like making everyday decisions over at Sony anymore. I was gonna sit on the board and collect the fat check and just hang out with all these. Or if he's married, his wife, or if he's not married, I don't know. Maybe all those girls in Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's just sitting back, living large at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like that one. Okay, so out of the two, I think the Kutaragi one is probably the most understandable. Because like you guys said, I mean, you guys make good points. He's older. He's been around for a while. Taylor looked up the financials, back to profitability. He's like ushering in, new command probably and taking them on. And that's probably why he's staying at the company in some capacity. But then you look at Eric Hirschberg and it's like, this guy's young. Activision Publishing has looked pretty freaking good. If you ask me. I mean, I know Destiny is kind of run off the rails a little bit. It's getting a little bit of negative reception. 1 week it's getting incredible reception. The next it's getting terrible. So it's kind of really up and down. Call of Duty World War II, I think, has been pretty successful. If you ask me, from what I've seen, I mean, I think people are getting, I think people are getting a good impression of that. And I think they think that's probably the best Call of Duty from this, this console generation, if you will. And then there was some news about maybe Modern Warfare 2 being remastered leaking out recently. And then you got this guy who's just all of a sudden going to resign. So that one makes absolutely no sense to me. And that's kind of like why, if it was the Kutaragi thing, I might not have even thrown it on the podcast because that's almost more understandable. But the Eric Hirschberg one, it's just like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I know Assassin was like, we got to talk about this guy resigning. So, Assassin, say what you have to say on this one.
I don't know. I was surprised. What was it, like a few weeks ago, that he said he was stepping down. He was going to get someone to replace him. Hopefully, with the new person, we don't see Activision just putting out like 2 games every year, Call of Duty and something Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they actually do something kind of like. I know EA gets a lot of hate, but at least they put out more than like 1 game a year.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they can, and this guy can bring Activision into a better, view to I guess the consumers or whatever. Because they're still I swear they're still the only company that makes a bunch of money off microtransactions. And still sells DLC for multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that just needs to stop at this point. I mean, there was the investors call today. More people bought microtransactions than ever than, like 2 years ago. And it's over, they're making more money off of that than season passes and DLC packs sold separately, combined.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin, though, let me ask you something since you're really big into Call of Duty. I just looked up Eric Hirschberg's bio on Moby Games, right? So on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, he was with the writing team on that game. He helped write the game. Don't you think that's a big loss with Advanced Warfare?
Wait, what?
Right, Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, I heard that, but then the other half, I maybe I didn't hear you correctly.
Big loss for the Call of Duty franchise?
I don't know. I mean, as much as Advanced Warfare sucked, I mean, they got, a pretty good team, I think, from EA to make a Call of Duty game, even if the first one sucked. I mean, Modern Warfare 3 was great, and they helped make that.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much hate as you want, you did do something good for the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's like, it's fishy. It's almost as if it could, for this guy, it could go two ways for me. It could go either he wanted to not drop the multiplayer DLC and he didn't want to, he didn't want that model they didn't want to publish games that didn't have a model like that, or he just saw the bad writing on the wall with Activision. Like, I don't know which one it is. Like, if it's the first one, then Activision's moving in a good way towards what gamers really want in, things that they want to purchase, and shown that they don't want to, do season pass or, separate map pack DLCs and stuff like that, paid for rather. But like, on the other hand, does he see something bad happening, and that's why he's leaving? And now Activision's going to be a big shit show from now on.
Maybe we can start. Maybe we could start a rumor here. Maybe it wasn't EA that Microsoft wants to buy. Maybe Microsoft wants to buy Activision.
Ooh.
Watch that be true. Called it.
Called it on this show, right? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't follow Activision enough because I don't really play a lot of Activision games anymore. Like World War II, I haven't played that enough, not nearly enough. And Destiny 2, I've like barely played.
Good. I swear, Bungie, they'll say they'll do something positive, and then they come back next week and just ruin the positive news with some terrible news.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying before, it's like one day or 1 week, it seems like Destiny's back in the rise. Everyone wants to play it again. There's new stuff coming. There's worthwhile stuff coming. And then the next week, it's like everyone hates Destiny again, and there's nothing to do. And it's a bad cycle. And maybe he's getting sick of that. Maybe he's getting sick of figuring out how to balance that or whatever. But, I mean, like Destiny 2 or not, I mean, Destiny as a whole was a huge publishing win, I think, for Activision. Whether or not, people still like it or not. At the time of both of those games' releases, that was a huge, huge win. So I don't know how they could have really done it differently. I don't know how Activision could have done it differently. But anyway, Clowns, any last word on this, on the Activision one?
I mean, the pond is too small for, if Microsoft buys them, and we can't let them overtake Phil, you know what I mean? So
nice. Has it been confirmed that the next COD is Black Ops 4? No, it has not been confirmed, I don't think.
Well, see, then that's another thing I want to bring up. Why leave the company when potentially the biggest Call of Duty coming to the consoles is going to come out by Treyarch? Which, I mean, look at Black Ops 3. It's sold a bunch. World War II, I think, passed that. But any Treyarch game, especially if it's going to be boots on the ground, is going to sell a whole lot compared to other people's Call of Duty titles.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like World War II is just like at such a high, and then like, obviously everyone's highly anticipating, Treyarch coming back and making something amazing and potentially taking that, pedestal away from World War II. But maybe it's like, maybe he saw the high of World War II. He saw what was going on from Treyarch and he doesn't believe in it and he had to bounce. See, that's what I'm kind of worried about. Like, you think Activision's low right now. You think Destiny's low. You think, COD is low for whatever reason, paid DLC, what have you. And now, like, potentially this guy sees what Treyarch is bringing down the road, and it's going to be terrible,
Nope.
Which I don't know how it could be, but Black Ops 3 I thought was amazing. But all the Black Ops games, really. All right, we got a few more topics here, so we want to move on to that, but let us know what you guys think about the CEOs resigning. Hopefully no one else that's big resigns. I mean, that would be like Reggie Fils-Aimé resigning. honestly. If
I mean, with him gone, we'll never get Advanced Warfare 2, so I want the boots off the ground, man. I'm depressed.
No, I cannot go back to Advanced Warfare. Black Ops 3 maybe. Advanced Warfare no. Yuck.
Ugh.
All right, let's just get this kind of over with because this isn't really like too big of news, but I did happen to check this out and I am quite impressed by the fact that Overwatch did get a 4K update for the X, and yeah, I mean it looks good. I mean, what else can you say? I've seen it in 4K on PC already, so I'm not like super impressed. It's not like something my eyes have never seen, and I didn't like bleed from my pupils or anything. But it looks good. It looks good, and I'm impressed with it. It runs well, and it's much closer to a PC setting. And I think, if anything, now this is a game that console really rivals high end PCs on. Quite honestly, like I saw Overwatch being played on 4K on a 1080 Ti, and it looked incredible. I mean, all the specs were up. It looked awesome, and that was back in the day when I played Overwatch quite a bit. I went back to my my 1S version, and I was like, wow, this looks like absolute dog shit. And now, like, I see the 1X version, and it reminds me a lot of what I saw on the 1080 Ti. I'm not even kidding. So, I mean, it's a big deal, but I know you guys don't really play Overwatch anymore. And a lot of people have kind of like moved on, like in the Xbox community. In the PC community, we're gonna get to in a second, people have not moved on, far from it. But did you guys, I know Taylor, you don't have a 4K TV, but Assassin.
I do have a 4K
Oh, you do?
now.
Oh, okay.
It's downstairs, so I can't use it because Megan. But
Gotcha.
I do technically have one.
Okay. All right. Sorry. My fault. Assassin and Clowns, though, you guys have you guys checked out the 4K update, or you didn't even bother because you hate it?
I opened loot box in Glorious 4K and got some sprays, like I always do.
and tell me, did those sprays look amazing in 2160p resolution?
I mean, they were really stupid, so no.
Great. Okay.
Here's
you checking out Clowns? Or?
Here's what I'm gonna say on this.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the game, and Junkrat is still the best character, by the way, I will say that I think it's awesome that they're doing this because this game is so successful. People love it. There's an esports league now, and even Robert Kraft of the Patriots signed into the Overwatch Sports League. So I think this is fantastic for Blizzard/Activision. Man, it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, and that was kind of the segue I wanted to make in the PC space. Like, it may be dying a little bit on console, just a bit, but on PC, like now with the Overwatch League, like you said, big names, Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, who just lost the Super Bowl, unfortunately. No, I don't care. They fucking sucked. They sucked that day. But big people are buying teams and sponsoring things. We have billboards here in Boston, like Overwatch League, this, that, and the other thing. There was an Overwatch League event at the big stadium here where the Celtics play and the Bruins play. I think that was like, I don't know, like a month ago. I wasn't in Boston at the time. It was like a month ago, I think. But a lot of people went. A lot of people liked it, and I think it's going to come back. And I think Overwatch is kind of like a game that's a lot more, I don't know, a lot more accessible to like casual people. Like, obviously they've been doing this for like League of Legends, Smite, a lot of like MOBAs. They've been doing this for, but for shooters, like, it really hasn't caught on yet. Like, you could say Rainbow Six Siege, but I feel like that's not as accessible as Overwatch, really. And I think like a lot of more casual people are going to check out esports because of Overwatch. But I know Assassin is aspiring to join an Overwatch League team from Wisconsin, right?
Oh, hell no.
What would you call them? What would you call them? Like Junkrats, Cheeseheads, or like
What?
oh man, I don't even remember that. It's been so long since I played Overwatch. I don't remember all the characters' names.
Some cow tippers.
Road hogs. Oh man, my mind went dirty. Roadhogs, Roadhead. No, but that doesn't have anything to do with really Wisconsin. I mean, there are truckers in Wisconsin, right, Assassin?
Yeah.
I actually met somebody from Wisconsin
There's truckers
recently.
in every state. What are you talking about?
Well, there aren't really a lot of truckers in Boston because we're on the coast, so.
What about Hawaii? Is there a bunch of them there?
Probably not. Good point.
Hawaii's the exception.
Good point. But yeah, Overwatch is kind of made E-League a thing. I mean, it's been broadcast on like TV and stuff. I mean, I know league matches were too, and like Dota and stuff. But I feel like a lot of people are kind of into the Overwatch League, and I feel like before, like as cool as Smite matches are, and as cool as League of Legends matches are to watch, especially like towards the end of the matches when it gets really climactic, I feel like with Overwatch League, more people are taking notice, like more big people that aren't part of the gaming scene. Like, who would think that owners of like football franchises would buy E-League's teams, Yeah,
I think also with North America, Overwatch is more relatable than some of those MOBAs that are big in Asia. I think it's just the culture.
Yeah. I think this culture really lends itself to like shooter esports a lot more. I mean, fighting game esports I feel are popular on like ESPN and stuff. I feel like a lot of people watch those, but Overwatch is kind of taking it to a whole nother level. But anyway,
story real quick that I read on this.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So there was a kid in high school who saw Robert Kraft's Overwatch billboards for the Overwatch League up in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid had no aspiring dreams to go to college or anything. So he sat at lunch by himself, isolated himself with his laptop just to practice an Overwatch, and he ended up getting signed.
Wow. That's kind of cool. See, I feel
there
like
are definitely people that do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I mean, for a lot of people that really have no other, I don't mean to make this sound bad, but I mean it's true. People that have no other like aspirations or goals in life other than to, be awesome at specific games. I mean, it's cool for them to have this opportunity. It really is.
New and emerging for a lot of these games like PUBG, Overwatch. I mean, you can get your foot in on the ground floor. You don't even have to be the greatest. You just get on a team, even if you're like the B team or the F team. As long as you're on a team, you got a contract.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to really quick discussion about two games that I've played neither of, but I've seen a lot of because I'm interested highly in both of them. And they kind of have, they've proven that single player genres are really not going anywhere, right? Because both of these games have done extremely well out of the gate. I don't have any sales numbers in front of me, and I don't know if any are really readily available, but I know from just word of mouth and from what I've seen on multiple forums and Twitter and whatnot that people are really into both of these games, Monster Hunter World and Shadow of the Colossus, right? Shadow of the Colossus is a remake of a 2005 game that was on PlayStation 2 that at the time I thought was like incredible graphically and how you controlled it and everything. And this game takes it to a whole other level because it's like a Gears of War remastered kind of remaster. They took it from kind of like from the ground up, did a lot more artwork. It's not just a 1080p like reskinning, and then you get Monster Hunter World, which I know not really a lot about, to be honest, because Monster Hunter games don't really make it over to the Western audience. But from what I've seen, the co-oping, PvE aspect that is essentially like the single player game, but in, with a couple of the buddies, it looks really cool, and the crafting looks pretty extensive, to say the least, from what I've seen. But I know you guys, I think Clowns especially was interested in Monster Hunter World, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was interested in checking it out. I played the beta. I felt like it was very complicated for a game, and I've heard this from a lot of people that in our circle that we game with, is that it's complicated at first. You got to put the effort in, you got to put the hours in, you got to get used to it, and it's more fun with friends, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. they said it's kind of dumbed down compared to like the 3DS versions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. But for some people that's a good thing, because I think the reason that it didn't really make it over to this market on on like the home consoles, not like portable, but the home ones. I think the reason for that is because it was so complicated. From what I've heard, I mean, I've heard a lot of people complain about how complex it is. And then this one is kind of like a little dumbed down. I don't know if it's like, literally like your ABCs, but it's not nearly as complex, and it's way more approachable for us dumb Americans, right? Assassin or Taylor on either of these? You guys interested?
So I never played Shadow Colossus. I don't own a PS4. I mean, I guess PS2 or whatever. But from what I saw, the guy killed 8 Colossi or whatever you want to call them, and the game looked very boring.
Yeah, good. Sorry.
Like the size of the Colossi or whatever you want.
Yeah, that's correct. No, that's correct.
Like that's cool and all, but like just from watching like the first 8, like they're very easy to figure out what to do. They offer like no challenge. The guy I was watching was like on normal. You could have put it on hard. 'Cause it looked very easy, and like now maybe it adds more towards the end, but like the world seems massive, but there's nothing there.
Right.
I understand this game is super duper old, but I mean, I've played a game that came out at that time, and there was more stuff to do other than climb a monster's hairy back.
A monster's hairy back. I mean, dude.
I mean,
honestly,
it's true.
Yeah,
they're huge, and they have a bunch of hair.
You know what's sad is that everything Assassin just said is 100% correct. Like, if Assassin did a review of this game from just what he's seen and he used that terminology, it's 100% correct. It's not even false. Like, that's literally what you do. You run around, you kill the Colossi. There's like 16 of them in total in the game, and that's what you do. You literally like climb their hairy backs and like their beards and shit. Like, that is what you do. So it's not even like an exaggeration. It is completely true.
Inferno, I gotta say this. I'm surprised Polygon hasn't written an article yet, but I'm gonna kill the Colossi. It feels kind of too violent for my taste.
Yes.
And they have the Colossi have feeling, man.
Yes.
You ever watch the Neverending Story? They have feelings.
Yes. They look like humans, and therefore we should treat them as such. Yep. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. What's even more pathetic than that is that IGN gave this game a 9.7 out of 10.
Seriously?
Did you?
Oh my! I didn't look at any reviews because I like not to be that guy who says Sony games always do well versus Xbox games, and there's this whole bias thing to a point. Like, I had a feeling the game would have reviewed very well.
Yeah, I mean, oh, my mic stand just made a really weird noise. It looks amazing. I mean, if you've watched I watched a few like 4K videos on YouTube about the game, and it looks incredible. It's definitely a rental. I think it's on the shorter side. I think it's like 8 hours long. If you're casual about it, but it's not 9.7. I mean, you're exactly right when you say literally all you do is run around and kill Colossi, and you don't like get any new abilities really. It's not like you unlock new weapons or like you have to master new weapons or anything like that. You literally have the same sword and the same horse the entire time. Like, it's spoiler alert, sorry. But that's essentially
the whole game.
Thank you. I mean, and literally like.
Where'd it go, Inferno?
Oh my god, I know. I'm rusty podcasting. I've been fucking up a couple of things here.
Maybe IGN was excited about it because they got the fondle the Colossi beards.
Probably.
maybe fondle it a little bit and be like, oh, look at it. Don't touch that Colossi beard.
Probably. And on the PS4 Pro, you feel like you can just like reach in the screen there and just like, run your fingers through all the hairs and shit. So,
this conversation got weird.
Yeah, it did.
Well, Polygon wouldn't think it's weird.
No, of course not. Of course not. I unfollowed them on Twitter.
Polygon things.
Yeah, I unfollowed them on Twitter. I can't deal with that shit anymore. Anyway, Taylor, last thoughts on either of these? You interested at all, or?
Well, I have Monster Hunter World for free because the person I'm game sharing with bought it.
Oh, nice.
So, I'll probably end up playing that when I need something single player play.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say check it out. I mean, I'm pretty interested, and I think, like, I prefer to play games like that are intricate quest-based games. Like, I prefer to play that with friends. PvE, but like a lot of people enjoy it single player. I think a lot, the majority of the people I've talked to about the game are playing it in single player. So I feel like it's a good game that, you can pick up, do a few quests, put it back down, and, it's going to take you like 100 hours to beat the damn thing, but at least you can, it's easily approachable. I think the story is pretty easily approachable.
Let me ask you something, Inferno.
Yeah.
You think it's worth $39.99?
Yeah, I do. The Monster Hunter World, absolutely.
Shadow of the Colossus.
No, Shadow of the Colossus is full. Yeah, I was just gonna say Monster Hunter World's a full 60, right?
It's 60.
World Xbox, yeah, I think Shadow of the Colossus is definitely not worth $40. I would not pay $40 for it. Not because it's an old game, like I don't want to discriminate against old games, but honestly, like. It's really, I mean, it's a beautiful game, but it's so monotonous, and you're literally just doing the same thing, and you're doing it for 8 hours long. So it's kind of like, you can just rent it and beat it. Monster Hunter World, on the other hand, is, what you want to make of it. You know what I mean? There's just so much questing. There's so much depth in the crafting and stuff. It's like, just spend $20 more and get the game that's going to last you a lot longer, But I'm definitely gonna. Daz says get a pre-owned. Yeah, I mean maybe go that route, right? But yeah, I mean Shadow of the Colossus, I definitely am just gonna rent. Even though PlayStation like sweetens their online store a bit, they send you like these $20% off coupons all the time in your inbox. I've gotten like 3 of them in the past like 3 months. And yet, I don't want to use that 20% off coupon on Shadow of the Colossus. I wouldn't even think about it, to be honest.
One thing I want to say on this podcast that I didn't get to say on Crossfire when we talked about this is that when you're looking to get games, if you know how to flip or buy cheap, it's worth it, because you go on Amazon, right? You can get a lot of JRPGs sometimes on sale for like PlayStation for like $5-10, and then you can flip it at GameStop for $40-50.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they do the extra 60%, I ended up with like almost $380.
Right
Off. So I would never pay full price for Shadow of the Colossus, or if I had doubts about Monster Hunter, I'd wait till I could flip and get it.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I mean, the thing is that a lot of these physical vendors or these brick and mortar places are really hurting so badly that, like, that 60% deal that you're talking about, like the thing that everybody did to get their Xbox One X for essentially free, like that's gonna happen again. That happens like way more frequently than you think.
Do it 3 times a year at least.
Right? Yeah, that happens super frequently. So if you play your cards right, like we kind of said in an earlier segment, like people are just waiting for deals to buy games nowadays. When we're talking about the Games Pass thing, like people are just waiting, And so, like, if you're on the fence about these, like, I hate to say just wait, because Capcom is a hurting company. They really need your revenue. And Shadow of the Colossus is a really nice experience if you're looking for that kind of thing. I mean, when I played it on PS2, I thought it was good. And it just looks even better now. So, but like, it's just so hard to recommend games nowadays at full price. It really is. Big D50 says he hopes to go to Redbox and buy a game for $5 and then go to GameStop and flip it. Dude, people did that. Don't even joke. People did that.
I did that with what's the game that was made by Deep Silver that was kind of like Saints Row, but it was like really crappy version?
Yeah, Agents of Mayhem.
I did that with Agents of Mayhem 6 times in a row.
Incredible. Oh man, yeah. So if it was my decision to get one of these two, it's probably get Monster Hunter World, but probably sad to say not at $60, not for me at least. But anyway, the whole point of that was that single player games are going nowhere. People are worried about that. There's still great single player experiences to be had. Not everything needs to be games as a service, microtransactions, what have you. But all right, last topic of the evening. The topic Assassin has been waiting for. Fortnite versus PUBG 2 months later. So, of course, PUBG has been out for like 8 months at this point, or 9. I don't know. Maybe even longer. On PC in its like beta form, if you will. And it is now in-game preview on Xbox. It has been for almost 2 months. And Fortnite Battle Royale has been on Xbox in its quote-unquote beta form.
Fortnite.
Huh?
Hey, my dog was just saying he likes Fortnite.
Nice. Fortnite had a little bit of a head start on PUBG, so it was able to kind of get some of the rough spots ironed out quicker and whatnot. So I'd say Fortnite Battle Royale is really the more ironed out experience at this point. So, but PUBG, everybody's super happy about that coming out, and everybody's been playing it religiously, and a lot of people love it. But there's been glitches and whatnot. So, Assassin, the moment you've been waiting for, who wins the battle?
Well, see, that's a hard choice because both of them have their ups and downs. Like, if I want, straight up gunfights and not who can build the tallest building in the universe and win because they have that advantage, I mean, it's PUBG, but then Fortnite, doesn't have the problem with PUBG has on the Xbox with the lighting, with everything being, the shadows being very dark or, so you can't see people and stuff like that, and the colorblind stuff, which is super annoying. But then PUBG, when you get the game, you just have to spend $30 or whatever. But then Fortnite, it's like you're getting, obviously it's free, but all the microtransactions, like if you want a blue outfit, like you can't just spend $7 or whatever that equals cash. You have to spend $10.
Right.
If you want 2 outfits, you have to spend $20. If you want like a purple emote, you have to spend $20 because it's like 15-ish or whatever the math is, and they're very greedy. If you want a progression system, you have to spend $20. Like, that should be in the game. I don't care who you are. Like, if you're gonna have a progression system, you need to have it available for everyone.
Yeah.
And the only way you can get tiers is doing daily challenges. Like, if you spend $20, you get an extra daily challenge, but it's not like you get 100 daily challenges and then you get to like 1 to, I don't know how that highest level, let's just say it's 50. You get 1 to 50 in a day. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, and some of the stuff's not even that great. So, I mean, why are you hurting people who don't pay you $20 a season, which is like 2 months?
Yeah.
And then if you don't pay, you get like what, something level 1, like level 5, 10, or like 1, 3, 5, I don't know, whatever. It's like every few levels, and then it stops at like 20 for stuff you get. Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've been advocating, if you don't want microtransactions to get in the way of your gameplay, then don't let them, right? Like, it's like, if you don't want to buy the cosmetic stuff, you don't have to. Just enjoy your game. But the point you made about the progression system is very good and is a huge knock against Fortnite. It's like, if you want to just like play a game that rewards you in a proper way for playing it and doing well, you have to spend money. Like if you want to just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again without making any type of progression or earning anything or whatnot on Battle Royale on Fortnite, like you can just do that. But if you don't want to do that and you want to actually feel like you're earning something or doing something, you have to spend money, which is absolutely stupid. And it's a way that Epic really, you know, honestly, like they did a good job roping people in. Like that, they've sold a lot of stuff. They've closed down Paragon now. Essentially, they're going to use the server load from Paragon to support Fortnite because people are really into that, and they're spending their money to unlock things like progression systems, like very basic features of games. They're spending money to kind of unlock. So, I mean, I'm just gonna spoil it and say that I think Battle Royale is better at this point on console, but you know, it leaves a bad like taste in my mouth that they hide stuff behind a paywall like that. That is just very basic. Cosmetic details, whatever, fuck it. Like I'll be naked for all I care in this game, but like not being able to earn stuff is just not right.
Well, if Fortnite Battle Royale was the only game you played and you didn't spend any microtransaction money except the Battle Pass, you're paying for like 2 games at this point.
Right, right.
What for 1 year?
Right, right.
Like that doesn't need to be a thing. Like I don't care if you know you do something different. Like you have super expensive microtransaction. Like get rid of that Battle Pass.
Yeah. Yep. No, I know, and they're doing a good job in tricking people into buying it. But it's like, I mean, people will judge it differently. Depending on who you are, you're going to judge it based on whatever, right? If I were to judge Fortnite Battle Royale versus PUBG, I'm judging it on like gameplay and how it works. And I'm thinking, you know, Fortnite Battle Royale works so much better than PUBG. It's not even close. The experience is so much smoother. It's, you know, you don't feel like you're cheated as much when you're playing the game, based on like netcode or lag or like glitches in the game and whatnot. So that's why I give Fortnite the nod. You know, I give that the win. But then like you'll talk to somebody else like you was asking who judges it based on like everything you can do on the game, everything that's possible. You know, features that you feel should be included, and then you're gonna say PUBG's better, right? So you're saying PUBG's better essentially.
Well, I'm not really saying both of them or one of them is better than the other. Like they both have stupid issues. Like Fortnite clearly has more content in the game. You know, they have like events. I think or Valentine's Day stuff's going on. I think it starts today, and like PUBG, like. Maybe doesn't need like pink costumes and you know hearts coming out of their mouths for emotes, but they need they need to do more than just have a battle royale. Like have you know a progression system or you know something to kind of make the game feel different, but not you know.
Yep.
You know, making it all weird.
Yep. I agree. I think PUBG is. If PUBG is going to be as bare bones as it is compared to Fortnite, which are you know coming out of the gate for PUBG was already existent and already did better. If you know you're coming into that, you need to be better. I'm sorry, like you need to just be better. And on PC, like it just plays so much better than on console. It's not even close. And like. You've got people like Digital Foundry, not so much anymore, but at one point, like making, like poking fun at the game for like this or that, the other thing, like how shitty it is. So I don't know. I can't give PUBG, like I almost want to feel like to be continued, but at the same point, why? I mean, look how many people have bought the game. Like I feel like because of how popular it is and how many people have bought it, you can judge it now. You don't have to wait until it's ironed out. Why? I mean, there are 2 competitors in the space, so good.
PUBG is more for serious gamers. Oh, in Battle Royale, I think Fortnite is more for fun and less skill. I don't think Fortnite takes skill at all. Like if I play solo, I can usually come in the top 5 no problem when I play solo. And I just think cracking down buildings with a pickaxe in a battle royale mode is kind of stupid. Stuff is okay. I think that's kind of neat, but just, you know, if I'm on the top floor and you're below me, you could just break the ceiling. That's just stupid.
Yeah, and and there are a lot of people that will like get into the circle by building like this heavenly stairway that like, you know, with these like levitating like floor panels that just like, you know, you're out of the circle. They're like, you know, you pitch down. You're like, all right, I have the area where they're gonna come into blocked off, and then all of a sudden, like, they have the high ground on you because they're just building like this stairway to heaven, and can like get above you and like hide in the trees and shit. Like, yeah, that's kind of corny, on Fortnite. But, and like you said, like if you're playing solo, you know, sometimes you can just like jump into a bush and just like wait there. Like I know people who play strats like that where they'll just hop in a bush with like no guns and wait it out until you're in like the final 5, and then you'll just loot somebody's dead body that dies around you, and then you'll win because you just hid in a bush for the entire match. Whereas in PUBG, you really, I mean, you can hide in a building, but I mean, it's gonna make you move, and if you don't have any guns, you're probably gonna get screwed. So I don't know. There's definitely knocks against Fortnite, but
in Fortnite too, I think it's too easy to find weapons. Plus, you get that stupid shield juice. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more arcadey than PUBG. That's for sure. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I can't see them ever going professional with Fortnite Battle Royale. I think it's too casual.
Yeah, it is. It is very casual. I'll give you that. It is. And there, I think maybe Epic is just content. I think Epic is just like content with not getting too deep into the esports scene. They just want to sell to casuals, and they want to essentially bait people into buying shit like progression systems, which should be in games in the first place. And they feel content because they've seen the money come in. And like when they were at full server load, right? They were at max capacity with like 5 million players. Like that's bad. That's bad. So obviously they had to drop the Paragon support so they can get servers to support more than 5 million players. And it's like, where are you going to get that money? You're going to have to charge for microtransactions. You're going to have to charge for progression systems. You're going to have to charge for the full game. Like who? I don't know a lot of people that have bought the full game. I know like a few, but when you look at like the full like single player experience, I don't know a lot of people who bought that. You know, so their support, it has to be through microtransactions, but through stuff like progression systems, that's kind of BS.
And this is why EA, as much as people hate them, that's why they have weird progression systems. Look at Battlefront 2. Mm-hmm. Apparently it works.
Mm-hmm. Taylor, last thought on this. What do you? I know you've played PUBG on both, I think, right? You've played on Xbox and PC.
Yep.
And Fortnite Battle Royale, I believe you've played, right?
Nope. I
really?
have not played.
Wow.
Nope. I've watched Breezy play it. I've watched Breezy's little brother play it. Nothing about the game wants me to play.
Really? Wow.
Nothing in it interests me. Actually, parts of it make me want to play it even less, like the building aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the dumbest thing to me.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
Spoiler,
it's
I like
corny.
hate this game. I haven't played it, but I hate this.
Hey, spoiler alert, after she just trashed it for like a minute straight, she hates it. But yeah, no, that is corny. Like, a lot of the building stuff is corny. Especially, like, I know a lot of people that love that, though. I know a lot of people that are like, oh, if you're trapped out in the middle of nowhere and somebody's attacking you and you just build a really quick, like, brick wall out of nothing, like, that's a cool strategy or something. And I'm just like...
No. Use your skills and you kill the person. That's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very blunt here. People that do that suck and have no skill.
Wow, tell us how you really feel.
I mean, it's kind of true, though. Like, if you don't pay attention and you build a wall and want to fight, like, there's no reason you should have won that fight. Clearly, the other person saw you first.
Speaking of, one of the times I was watching Reezy play, He was last man standing on his team, came up on a full team, killed 3 of them. A guy built up a wall and then shot over it with a rocket launcher and killed them.
Yep.
It was completely bold that he won that. I was physically angry sitting there watching it happen. I was so mad. That is bull. You should have won that. This game's canceled.
Those are the strats people use. They also use, because you can also build a wall and then edit it after or whatever, and you can make a door in the wall out of the wall can be established, and all of a sudden there could be a door there or a window or whatever, and you just poke through and kill someone. So that's corny as hell. But
that stuff should just stay in the PvE portion.
Right. See, that's the thing. It's kind of like they do the Battle Royale thing to compete, and it runs really well. But then it's okay, we built this whole game on the premise of building. What if we add building to this? And it's kind of too many people use that as a main strategy. They don't shoot anymore. You know what I mean? It's kind of okay, well, the circle is shrunk to its smallest ability or whatever, or really small. And then they use oh shit, somebody was just walked in. They use the buildings to just build up this huge fortress, right? And the huge fortress is the size of the circle. If you get a 4-man squad and they've got enough materials by using that pickaxe to chop down concrete walls and all this other bullshit, they build this huge ass fortress. What the fuck are you gonna do, man? Even if they had pea shooters, what are you gonna do? Right.
So what you're telling me is that there's some people that play this game don't even bother looking for guns. They just use their pickaxe and they pickaxe everything the whole time. And then at the end, they just build these enormous walls.
Dude, hate to call out Jizzle on this, but I do, because Jizzle loves Fortnite. Jizzle thinks Fortnite is one of the best games on the console. Okay? And Jizzle thinks...
Does he play many games?
I do remember having a conversation with him in the Discord about this.
And Jizzle also thinks PUBG is absolute trash. We'll never play PUBG probably ever again, to be honest. He thinks it's absolute trash, and we've had this argument that PUBG is not absolute trash. Now, do I think it's better than Battle Royale right now on the console? No. But
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
PUBG on the console is technically still in beta.
Yes.
It's 2 months into its beta.
Yeah, so is Fortnite, though. Fortnite Battle Royale is, too.
Fortnite's been out way longer. Fortnite has had time to work out the kinks on Xbox.
I know.
Battlegrounds is not.
I agree.
Also,
go ahead.
There's a big difference between the two. And I'm sure Taylor and Assassin will agree. But it takes skill to play PUBG. 3-year-old and play Fortnite.
Bro, listen. I got to know how to build walls, man. I got to know how to build walls. If I can... I could argue that on, and I won't because this is retarded, but just listen to this. I could argue that you could, you'd have to be an architect to win a PUBG. I mean, at a Battle Royale, but in PUBG, you can just, go around and just play like a shooter. So you can just be really simple and play like a shooter and win a PUBG. But in Battle Royale, you need to, be an architect. Right, Assassin?
I just learned from Trump. Right.
Build the wall. Build the wall.
Maybe Trump can learn something from these guys in Fortnite on how to build a wall, huh? I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, I mean, you could. So, what I was going to say about Jizzle before we end this, Jizzle is one of the people that has a strat where he hides in a bush. And
of course he is.
And Jizzle is one of the people that has successfully gotten the equivalent of a chicken dinner with just a pickaxe. So,
oh my god.
Is he one of those people that get really excited for the bush pickup, or turns your player into a
No,
bush?
no, he doesn't. I don't think he likes the bush pickup. I don't think he likes that. I think he just likes spawning in, grabbing a bush,
finding a bush.
Yeah, just chilling there with the pickaxe. And dude, I mean, I gotta be honest. I've never seen, well, not never, but ever since Jizzle started playing it religiously, I haven't seen Jizzle finish outside of the top 10 in months. And he does it with the same strat. He hides in a goddamn bush and uses the fucking pickaxe. Like it's amazing. And then there are people that, oh, go ahead, Taylor.
The thing. You can also hide in a bush in PUBG. I've done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've gotten a chicken dinner with that strat.
See, that isn't exactly as corny as building up this huge fortress, or I love the people that build up like the stairway to heaven to get into the circle, and then they like drop down in the trees, because like there's places where you can like glitch up in the trees, we can stand in them. And like, who's gonna think you're in a tree? Like, what are you, a fucking monkey? You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna think?
If I'm playing this, I'm gonna think someone's in a tree.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to look up and check the trees. Yeah, I mean, isn't that pathetic though? Like,
yeah. Back to cheating to get a high score in a video game.
It's almost as bad as that. But in the end, it runs a hell of a lot better than PUBG. I mean, oh man,
I'll take skill over it running better and it being a trash game.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I think if I were to pick one of the two, like if you told me I had to pick and the other one was just obliterated into nothingness for the rest of its existence, I would say PUBG. I would take PUBG because I like the style of the game and I like the realism and I like the traversal and the vehicles and I like the tactile nature of it. I like the sneaking and stuff. Like in Battle Royale, you don't sneak. Like in Fortnite, it's just like fuck it. Like
you build the wall.
You run around with a grenade launcher and you build a brick wall. Exactly. So if I were to take one and send one into non-existence, I would take PUBG. But if I were to take one right now and they both existed and I want to just like play a few rounds with my friends, I'm probably taking Battle Royale. I'm not gonna lie, just because it runs better. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
PUBG has been running smoother. It's a lot smoother now.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. Now that I actually have time to game, I gotta check it out.
When we did our stream, it was running pretty nice.
It doesn't rubber band like it used to. Like you might hit it every now and then, but it's not.
Yeah. We had like one game that rubber banded. But that was it. And then Clowns decided to dive backwards, building far behind us.
Wow. Terrible
strategy ever.
I literally
never you died immediately.
Wow.
Saying.
I literally came home from like all my work trips and stuff and was like finally settled like in my own couch or whatever, like seeing my dogs and all this, and I grabbed this controller right here and I literally was like, this is a foreign object. Like it's been that long. I'm just like, what is this thing? You know, I played a match, like I went to go see my nephew the other day. I played like a really quick match of NBA Live. And literally like I got my ass absolutely whooped by my little nephew. And I literally blamed it on the controller. Like I'm like, I can't even use this thing. That's how bad it's been. But
well, speaking of NBA real quick, I want to give a shout out. Crypto is hosting a tournament at the Cop Cafe in Orlando for NBA 2K18.
Is he? That's awesome. So you guys have that cool shit down there. In Boston, we have cool shit like that. People don't just like throw events like that. Like no one wants to go out in the snow. Right, Assassin?
We don't have anything in Arizona.
Sure.
What'd you say, Taylor?
We got nothing in Arizona. You walk outside and you just die of a heat stroke.
Right.
It is February. It's already hitting like almost 90 degrees.
That's unbelievable.
I want to be dead. I want to leave.
Then just leave.
Oh, okay, Assassin. Wow, you need to write like a success book or whatever. You need to write like you're like a motivational speaker. Just leave, and that would be it. Like period, done. Assassin, I met somebody from Wisconsin actually.
Oh God.
Well, I was at a work event. I can't remember what city they're from though. It was like it started with an M.
Was Milwaukee?
It like, no. It was like your city's name, but it was like Miskasha or something like that. I don't know. Forget it.
Guys, just want to let you know, according to Cheap Ass Gamer right now, Xbox Game Pass is half off when you buy 1 month, and some people are saying there's a glitch where they can buy a whole year at $4.99 for each month. So one dude only paid $60 for a whole year.
That's incredible, especially this year. That's gonna be incredible. There you go. There's your
14 months at $5 each.
There's your one game, by the way. There's your $60 game, and you just bought all those games. But Supersonic Station says you rule, Assassin. Just so you know. Did you see that in the chat?
No, I did not see that.
Oh. I'm
gonna go back up.
You have a fan.
Let me just say this, and Assassin's a big supporter of this. Daz posted a link earlier for a petition to put
your mouth.
Special characters behind loot crates on Battlefront 2, and he agrees. He agrees for it.
He's speaking gibberish. He said sign for an esports team.
And with that, we're getting out of here. This has gotten ridiculous. We appreciate
legendary outro.
Oh yeah, what's the legendary outro? Go ahead.
Oh god.
It was that.
I had like 102 fever, and I was like, "All right, guys." All right, guys.
Incredible.
He was like, "Bye."
Bye.
And then like everyone else was just silent because no one else. We didn't hear him say bye.
Paused for Assassin to say something, and he just is silent the whole time. Taylor's like, "Bye," and she's like, "What are we waiting for?" I was like, "I thought Assassin was gonna say something."
He's like, "Oh."
Incredible. Oh my god. Well, we are now back to full strength. So legendary outros will be and Clowns is back to full. Well, I don't know. Are you back to full strength, Clowns? Like
two different things right now. Clowns is not at full strength.
No.
Clowns gets better, and then he gets like something that we never heard of, and then he gets that cured, and then he gets like 6 more things that no one's heard of, and then that gets cured, and then he gets the thing that was first cured back, but worse.
Just for a heads up, expect some more rants from me because lately, due to this muscular condition I have, myasthenia gravis, they gave me like stuff to calm the muscle pains I'm getting from the flu. So I'm Vicodin, Tramadol, Valium, and everything for it. So I'll have some good rants and sign that petition. Everybody sign that petition.
All right. Well, Clowns is clearly not at full strength, so forget what I was about to say.
Clowns is worse than when the original legendary outro happened.
All right. Anyway, we're getting out of here. Search 4GwQPodcast. You'll find us absolutely everywhere on planet Earth. 4GwQPodcast is our Twitter. Follow us in there. Hit us up all individually. We love you all. And we'll be definitely back next week. I'm not going anywhere for work, so we will be here. Same time. All right, guys. Let's go. We're out of here, right? Or whatever it is. All right. See you guys later.
It was just all right. And then dead silence.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.